the presidential race and how it impacts Somerset County and the perception of shifting demographics merging with this particular reelection campaign by the president may be putting the Republican Party in a very challenging territory. Your thoughts?
Well, there's been a demographic shift going on in this county probably since I moved here. I think I was one of the early people there who came in from Bergen County, and it's been happening ever since. The numbers don't lie. Population has grown because Somerset County is one of the most desirable places to live in the nation. The population has grown, and it's grown in different ways. We have people who come in from New York, we have people come in from all over New Jersey, and we have people come in from overseas because it's a great place to work. So that's definitely affected the balance in the voter registration. Where once we could win an election in 1988 or thereabouts by 30,000 votes, we're outnumbered by almost 20,000 now. So we've had to get a little bit more modern, a little bit more creative. I was part of that. It was demographic change in 1990, and what I pledged when I accepted the office was that we'd roll with the demographic change, make new friends in new neighborhoods, which we have been doing, which we had started. Al was very forward thinking about that, and we've continued that with different geographies that where you wouldn't normally think. Um, the Trump phenomenon has been an interesting one. This year, um, I see a lot of enthusiasm for President Trump in Somerset County. If you look at the corner of Lamington Road and Route 206 in Bedminster by the Bedminster Library, that used to be an area where there would be, some minor, some people protesting or picketing. And this year, Somerset County for Trump, which is its own group that just sort of grew up out of nowhere, um, took ownership of that corner.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that group grow. It's nice to see something grow that I didn't have to plant, water, and fertilize. And so that's been a real change. We've seen the Trump rallies around marinas, the flotillas. So there's an interesting dichotomy between suburban folks who don't like his style and people who are extremely enthusiastic. 4 years ago, Pat Walsh outpolled President Trump by quite a bit. We can, if he loses Somerset County again, we can outperform him, and we've done it before. We'll do it again.
You say that people don't like his style, but there are some very real policy decisions that have impacted suburban voters, like the salt tax deduction elimination and not getting the Gateway Tunnel done. Do you think those are offset by his tax policies in this county, Tim?
The so President Trump was not my first choice in 2015 and 2016. I was more of a Rubio guy, a Chris Christie guy, and uh, but when it was clear that was going to become the nominee, one of the things I wanted to do was the VA, and clean that up for those folks who've served us in awful conditions overseas and come back needing our help, and he's done that. But the corporate tax cut, what happened there can't be underestimated, and I think it did help Somerset County. People who have 401ks who might lose, a few $100s because of the salt tax, their 401ks have thrived, and that's not just rich folks. You know, labor unions have investments in their pension systems.
Mm.
And I think that offsets that. Sure, we'd love to see the Gateway Tunnel, although I think people are moving out of New York, so maybe we don't need that as much. I think there is a matter of style. And I think some people have overcome that because they see what the alternative is.
What is the alternative in your view?
I think you have an alternative where, and we're seeing it in Governor Murphy, where the idea of a fiscal discipline, and that's what, maybe discipline's the wrong word, the, the idea of when you're having a bad year fiscally, cutting or just not doing anything doing any new giveaways is not even on the table. And I think that's the alternative. Um, and that's something that sells in Somerset County. I mean, we've as Republicans have been able to create a great park system, keep the infrastructure going well. There's umpteen million little bridges in this county, Max, and while maintaining a AAA bond rating, people around here understand it. It's one of the most highly educated counties in the country. So I think the alternative of it doesn't matter what the budget looks like. I still want to do my brand new NITO program that sounded good in a campaign meeting is not a good alternative.